It's human nature to want to push our limits. Whether it's a world record in the Olympics or just a personal challenge in our backyard, with every passing year new records are broken, and the bar is set increasingly higher. Say what you want, but getting into the Guinness Book of Records is great. After all, most of the records in the world are standard categories, like the tallest and the shortest people in the world, and the highest standing jump and so on. It is difficult to beat this kind of records. It is much easier to set your own, absurd, funny, and even ridiculous record, which had never even occurred to anyone before. Here are top 10 most craziest world records. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. Rotations hanging from a power drill. When plug the drill into the ceiling hangs onto the drill, turn it on. This is for investors. If you talk to the fellow who's the top, this might sound like a slightly insane dream, but in reality, it's one of the world records listed in the Guinness Book. How such a thing could have occurred to anyone is a question that should remain unanswered though. But you can look at how people struggle to cling to the opportunity to become record holders literally and figuratively, and how many turns around the drill do you need to do to set a world record? 141 turns. Watermelons breaks with thighs. When you crush watermelons with your thighs really fast, why not? This is a record set by a Ukrainian athlete. I'll get like a sknook, and don't think that this is simple, or that anyone can do it. Your legs are not like hands, and watermelons are a very stubborn fruit that doesn't always want to be crushed. In addition, watermelons are round and constantly roll away. Nevertheless, Olga chose this rather complicated record and set it in 2014. Representatives of the Guinness Book of Records were looking for a new record, so they invited Olga to Italy, where in 14 seconds, she crushed 3 watermelons weighing about 4 kilograms with their thighs. So thanks to the watermelons, Olga Liashtrux became the only Ukrainian female record holder of the Guinness Book Records. However, according to the athlete herself, setting records for her is a hobby. She is the world and European strongwoman champion, the absolute world champion of 2014 world record holder, and owner of the world Professor Cart, and she doesn't plan to stop. She wants to achieve even more titles and crushed some more watermelons. Well, Lee Shaw considers the bronze medal of the Arnold Classic tournament as the most prestigious trophy in a collection of awards. Fastest run on all fours. Running world records are pretty common, and they often set without the participation of representatives of the Guinness Book of Records. This can happen at various competitions, for example, during the Olympic Games. But some ways of running are, let's say, too unusual for traditional competitions. So in 2014, in Japan, the record was set on all fours. 23 athletes took part in this unusual race, and the winner was Katsumi Tomokoshi. The 18-year-old Japanese athlete finished 100 meters running on all fours in 15.86 seconds. This result was then recorded in the Guinness Book of Records. It should be said that Tomoko, she was not the first record holder in history, but improved the previous record by 0.01 seconds. The last record was set the year before, and belongs to another Japanese athlete, Konichi Itabuts. The most surprising thing about this race was that the age of its participants ranges from 11 to 59 years. Yes, if you are already an honorable grandfather, there's no reason to say no to unusual sports. Overall, competitions that imitate the running of monkeys are becoming very popular in Japan. The most optimistic residents of the land of the rising sun hoped that this kind of running will soon become one of the official disciplines of athletics. Man smashes walnuts with head. Can endless walnuts help you get into the Book of Records easily, especially if you break them with any parts of yours body? For example, with your pet. So a resident of India, Naveen Kumar, broke the world record for cracking nuts with his head in exactly 1 minute. The man smashed 217 walnuts with his forehead and thereby entered his name in the Guinness Book of Records. Of course, the whole process was filmed on camera, and now everyone can make sure that the champion's forehead is really solid like a hammer. He's able to split hundreds of nuts one by one. Although nobody knows for how long Naveen tried to achieve this result and whether his workouts cause too many injuries at the end. Hitting your head all the time can be hardly considered that healthy. However, after the record was set, the man was still on his feet. Most wet t-shirts worn at once. You put wet clothes on is no easy task, so why not turn it into another unusual record? A guy named Kasten Zipfilacker, Dr. Craig took up this difficult task. As a result, he was able to put on 7 wet t-shirts in 1 minute. One after the other, and so far he remains unbeaten. By the way, this is not the only t-shirts achieved in the Guinness Book of Records. There is a similar record there, but with dry t-shirts. The record 31 shirts much more, because putting on a wet cloth is much more difficult. Biscuits broken with shoulder blades. Let's be honest, shoulder blades are not a part of the human body that's intended to set records. Well, you know they are in the back. Moreover, they're a part of the back. However, in the Guinness Book of Records, there are several achievements related to the shoulder blades. One of them is the maximum number of cookies smashed with the shoulder blades in 1 minute. Not joking, this record really exists. It was set for March the 24th. 2010 by Ozzy Malik from the UK on the set of Low showed. I record in Rome, and yes, in order to break Azim's record, you will need to break at least 22 cookies, and we are still wondering how he came up with the idea. Straws stuffed in the mouth. Manoj Kumar Maharaja of India from his very childhood dreamed of breaking world records. After all, entering your name in the Guinness Book of Records is pretty cool, in getting a certificate with your name. Of course, Kumar was inspired by the British record holder Simon Elmore. At one time, Simon managed to stuff 400 plastic straws into his mouth and held them there for 10 seconds. So anyone can do it. After long training sessions, Kumar managed to put 459 straws in his mouth, getting the results on camera, and thus becoming a new world record holder. And believe us, it's a much more complicated master than it seems at first glance. First, the teeth are a problem, and secondly, according to the rules, the straws should be in the mouths of the person for at least 10 seconds, and they should not be held by the hand. One can only fasten the straws with rubber bands, so that they won't fall apart in different directions. By the way, this record has another version. While you can use your hands under these conditions, another record lover managed to put 496 straws in his mouth. If you think about it, it's not such a big difference. Maximum bananas snapped. If you have a banana close to you, try breaking it in half right now. If the banana's fresh, it's not that easy to do it. These fruits are quite soft, the rind is torn, the pulp is squeezed out. Overall, it's a good object to set an unusual record. Apparently that is why the Swede Michael Utterson chose bananas November 24th, 2001. He snapped 270 bananas in half in a minute. He didn't even break them, but literally just split them in two. It happened on the set of the Guinness World Record showings Calm, Sweden. And although the bananas could have probably been put to better use, the record still turned out to be very impressive fruit. He's snapping them cleanly into snap your ears are going bananas. Well, let's hope that after the completion of the filming the fruits were eaten. Jamie Keaton. This real-life X-Man Jamie Keaton can stick fossils and jars to his head. Surprisingly, the man makes a lot of money using his unusual superpowers. Experts suggest that Jamie's talent is related to the temperature of his body, which exceeds 37.8 degrees Celsius. Probably, the increased temperature leads to the fact that the pores of his skin act like suction cups, firmly clinging to the cans themselves, bottles, and other smooth objects. Thanks to this peculiarity, the man, also known by the nickname Canhead, managed to get into the Guinness Book of Records. This pull off, and if you think about this, it's absolutely deserved. Who else besides Jamie Keaton can put a bottle on their head, bend over, and then pour the liquid into the glass? The cat with the loudest purr. Some Guinness records belong to animals, mostly because of their size: the biggest dog, the smallest peg, and so on. But among these records, there's a rather unusual one, and it belongs to the loudest cat. Meet Merlin. He lives in Torquay in the Key along with his owner Tracy Westwood, and he looks like the most ordinary cast. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of similar felines in the world, but only Merlin has it really loud. We are not talking about meowing. But about the purr, the very pleasant sound of a happy cat similar to a vibration. The normal volume for cats is 25 decibels. That Merlin's capable of purring that's 67.8 decibels. This is like a feline vacuum cleaner. Besides, Tressie, the owner of the cats, is actually a fortune teller, and she claims that she's simply bewitched her pet, otherwise explaining these loud sounds is simply impossible. But how did she do it? Well, wizards work in mysterious right. If you like my video, don't forget like and subscribe my channel. Let us comments below.